30 Rock fans, it's official. It is all Kabletown. Let's talk to Liana Baker. She's our Reuters media correspondent. All right, Liana, talk us through the deal here. Big $16.7 billion deal. Comcast finally getting the rest of its stake in NBC Uni from GE.
So it's not totally unexpected. We expected Comcast to eventually take over NBC. It's just ahead of schedule by at least 2 years. It's coming at a good time for Comcast. They've been selling, a lot of bonds. They have a lot of cash on hand. Their stock's up 40%. So now this is the time for them to say, hey, we're going to go out and buy our stake here and get a discount for shareholders, frankly.
All right, so it comes at a good time also with NBC turning around its fortunes, the main mothership network here, USA, they get the cable networks, USA Network, the #2 cable network.
Right, so there's still definitely a long way to go for a full turnaround, but we saw a really strong fall season at the broadcast network, which is historically a laggard in the industry. We're seeing, cable affiliate deals, better fees there. Universal Studios still, not a top, it's not doing that great in terms of profit.
Hey, it had Ted, right? The pot-smoking bear.
Right, so that did great. Theme parks are on the upswing. Comcast said today they're going to invest a lot in theme parks in the next year.
All right. We joked, of course, about the show 30 Rock, where they talk a lot about Kabletown, the cable company coming in here. All right, and then in terms of GE, they have a lot of cash on hand now, and they're going to be looking for ways to get it back to their shareholders.
They'll deploy that. But Comcast shares are up. GE shares are up. I spoke to analysts yesterday who said the deal is executed in a really tight way. So even though it's a big figure and there's some sticker shock, Comcast is known for being conservative, and investors like the deal.
All right, GE is actually up at its highest level since 2008.
And Comcast is trading at levels not seen since the early 90s. So clearly it's a good time to be Comcast and GE.
All right, Liana Baker, thank you so much for that. I am going to turn now and talk to you folks about some winners and losers from the State of the Union address. Let's talk about some cybersecurity companies, because as President Obama just signed an executive order that will help vulnerable companies, those that are in critical areas such as utilities, telecommunications, energy, transport, government agencies, to develop security standards. So if you look, and I think we just had them up there, some stocks to watch for those companies that deal, like Palo Alto, for example, they deal with firewalls, Checkpoint Software. SourceFire does intrusion prevention, and a stock like Symantec there, which also does data protection. We've got some red hours today, but look for them in the future with this executive order just being signed. Also, gun control, of course, a big issue. So looking at some stocks of gun companies today, Smith & Wesson and Sturm & Ruger were both up. Yes, they are. They were both up today. And also, lots of talk about alternative energy from President Obama. The ETF PowerShares Clean Tech Index is up 1.5% today. They've got lots of solar, wind, water companies in there, as Obama focuses on alternative energy. All right, I'm going to move to the hot spot, and as I do, remember those snaps at the bottom of the screen for more news of the day. And I'm joined now by John Marino, editor of Reuters PE Hub. Groupon, who'd have thunk it? They get an upgrade here from Stern AG to buy from neutral. Stock's up 5%. What do you think? They think they're taking a long view here, they're saying?
Getting an upgrade, getting a boost from Stern AG. I'm pretty interested, however, to see what the earnings look like when they come out on the 27th of this month. Right. It hasn't actually been a terribly pretty story for the daily deals companies. If you look at what happened with Amazon, their investment in Living Social now has been marked down 75% since they made it. Unless Groupon comes out with some really impressive numbers, shareholders are going to go on a ride back down, and they have made a really impressive run out of it, though.
Yeah, well, they're saying that they're actually not going to include those fourth quarter earnings in this, right? They're looking the long view here to expand overseas, but they've had trouble in Europe and China. Groupon has.
In China, especially.
Yeah, definitely. All right, very quickly here, Amazon expanded its licensing deal with CBS. They're going to be getting Everybody Loves Raymond. If you're a fan, Star Trek franchise and many other CBS and Showtime series. I already watch Homeland, a Showtime series on Amazon Prime. So that's good news for Amazon. Their stock is up 2.5% today on that news. And also Trulia, the real estate website, they have better than expected fourth quarter results, and they forecast their current quarter revenue above analyst estimates. Their stock is up today very nicely. As you can see, they're over 20%. And rival Zillow was up as well. They report earnings tomorrow. All right, John, let's close it out with Apple, because luxury German TV maker Lowe, supposedly Apple has put in a bid for this. What do we think? This Apple TV? What's going on here?
It might finally be time to turn on the Apple TV. They're already keeping the time of the wristwatch. I guess reportedly we're talking about now 100 different people at Apple working on the wristwatch. That's going to be a really important product. I thought it was very peculiar that, kind of like Facebook when they made their run at attempting to buy a browser, they stayed out of Japan entirely. It's bad news for Sony. It's bad news for Panasonic. It probably speaks ill of the fortunes of these companies. That Apple doesn't really want to partner with them. Also, big news for Apple is now that they're cutting their MacBook prices. Again, they're shrinking margins for their iPhones. They're shrinking margins for their MacBooks. They're going to have to make it up somewhere. TV sounds like a great place.
That's right. I just want to go back to Lowe for 1 second, just because this news of this bid has driven the stock up 23% today. Wow. It was up even, I think, over 40% earlier. But yes, you're right. On 13-inch MacBook Pro, anybody with a Retina screen out there, cutting it by $200 or so.
Hold off for the TV.
Hold off for the TV. That's right. All right, John Marino, thank you so much. Remember, folks, follow us on Twitter at Reuters Insider, and check out more great videos at Reuters.com/ReutersTV. I'm Lisa Bernhard. This is Reuters.